Struggles you faced to across 4 films to gather money. And also I remember you saying in an interview that you were jugaadu like that.
What you know, that Priya wrote, I never meant it like that, not jugaadu as such. क्या होता है, you're as good, see, all this thing is only as good as till next Friday.
Sure.
Okay. Now, now again, we are coming back to the basic brass tacks of filmmaking, which is the money part, right? Which you have to convince somebody to part with.
Yeah.
Now, if you were me, or if you were the one with the money, for example, and if I came to you saying, look, I have 2 flops behind me, I want to make a film with a pregnant woman, thriller, and the movie which cost 16 crores on paper, but I can make it for 1/3 the price. There's a huge chance you won't believe me. Okay. Now, it all depends on your pedigree at that point of time. So, it becomes harder for me to sell a kahani, whereas it was easier for me to sell a home delivery because I was coming fresh off Jhankar beats. Okay. So, it all depends on the time and the baggage you're carrying. So, after home delivery, Aladdin was a bigger challenge because Aladdin was a very expensive project. But thankfully, what has happened till date is somewhere I've had the support of the actors. Okay, and I think that helps. That hugely helps in our industry, where the cast do play a very strong role. So, I mean, it has been a challenge. I think home delivery was probably the easiest for me to get financing for, but Jhankar was tough. Aladdin was tougher, and I think Kahani was the toughest till date.
You've turned producer with Aladdin and
Home
Kahani.
delivery.
Home delivery also? You produced it yourself? Is it more out of necessity or more out of necessity?
I've become everything out of necessity, except writing. Whether it's directing, producing, all out of necessity.
How do you say become a director out of necessity?
Because nobody was willing to direct Jhankar, yeah.
Okay, so your principal interest was in the story and getting it.
I was writing. Then nobody wanted to direct Jhankar, so I directed it.
Okay. Has becoming a producer made you a better filmmaker, or has there been more of an obstacle creatively? I'm sure it's been a bit of both, but which one is more?
I think, what producing has helped me is to respect other people's money. I'll be very honest with that. May not be necessarily a good thing, but it helps me.
As a director, what has it been done for you?
As a director, you do tend to get carried away in terms of your needs, your greed, and rightfully so. As a director, you would always want the best for your film. Yeah, you have every right to expect the best for your film. And but as a producer, somewhere I can curdle those thoughts in my head. But what really helps being a producer and a director is when I write, I can write to satisfy the producer and the director. Okay,
yeah.
And because without compromising, I'm not that I'm compromising, but I would know, for example, if I'm writing a scene, and if it needs a bit of VFX, I can curtail it down in terms of writing it, or I can write a complicated scene and use VFX to make that scene easier to shoot.
Okay.
So some way it helps,
Is there a disadvantage as well?
Disadvantages, I don't know, maybe somewhere in your head you do compromise. I don't know. I think I don't compromise, but maybe I do. So at that bit I don't know. Okay. Sometimes I do struggle. For example, like if I had 16 crores to make Kahani, it would have been a much more lavisher film, but I don't know. I didn't think it needed 16 crores. What I did was good enough.